So now we are ready to jump into Python scripting. Just before I jump into this, you realize that I've created multiple line chart here. So what I'll do is I'll delete my attribute older, I'll add a new one, and I'll just re-execute this so that we have the single button. So we don't have to re-edit that. We're just going to focus on the Python script itself. Python has lots of libraries that you can use, and in the installation of Python, I'm just going to show that to you in a second here. If we go to the 3ds Max folder where Python is installed, I'm just going to go back here and Python. We have a few libraries. There's a few of them here, and there's most of the regular install for Python are all in there. There's tons of libraries to do a lot of things, including opening files, CSV data, and blah blah blah. So you can do a lot of things. And you can do a lot of research on the internet to find out what you need from Python. That's what I did for this blog post. I wanted to find out about how to open a file, how to read a CSV file, and I'll show you what that is in those videos. So the first thing is if we want to talk to 3ds Max from a Python script, we need to import the Max Plus library. If you want to find more about Max Plus, if you go to the Max Help, there's if you look into don't look into scripting and customization, you need to look into developers documentation, and you can go here and say Max Plus, and this is the interface, and it looks intimidating to start with, so because there's a lot of classes, and it's much closer to a developer's library, but you can find a lot of things in there. So if you read the documentation, you can do a lot from that Max Plus. That's what I did, and I figured it out by searching and finding what I needed. And the result of what I'm going to show you is kind of the essential of what you need to update content in 3ds Max. So we're going to reduce it to a very simple set of commands. We're not going to go and play too much into the API. We're just going to use what we need to update content inside. So we need to import the library. So I'll say import and say Max Plus, and that's going to be the Max Plus library. That's how it gets imported. We also are going to use a CSV importer. We need to open a CSV file. So if I want to find more about Python and CSV, I'll go here and say Python, and I'll type in CSV and enter, and it brings you to how to open up a CSV file or comma separated value file from the menu. So you'll see that the CSV file reading, you'll see where's the module and all of that. So you see that we need to import CSV, which is the module that takes care of CSV. So that's what I've read in order to find out the commands that I needed to be able to read a CSV file. But what I like about this format is that if you create a CSV, if you access the CSV module and you go reader, it's going to create an array from the CSV file. So what you get is you don't have to parse it, you don't have to look for commas or anything like that. The only thing it does is that you see that, well, I don't know why it's that's the example here, but spam reader equals csv.reader. It takes the content of that CSV file and it puts it into an array, which makes it very easy for us to read inside of 3ds Max. So we saw that we need to import CSV, so I'm just going to copy this here and paste it back into my script. So import CSV, I'm going to put it in lowercase here for, I know that Python is pretty sensitive with syntax and all of that. So I'm going to make sure that we're good. So I'm going to save this, file save, tool, evaluate all. And actually, I cannot evaluate. Why did I do that? That's the thing, and that's a good point right now. I'm going to save it. So when it's saved, it's on the disk. And if I want to evaluate it, I'm not going to evaluate it from here because this is the Max script evaluator, and that's a Python script. So I need to evaluate it from here. And now it's evaluated, and it did import those two. So that nothing happens so far. It just loads those two libraries. I also need another library if I want to open a file dialog in order to open that CSV file or to select that CSV file. There's a module that is called libtk, and I'm just going to show you where it is because that's kind of tricky to you see in the library here there's a few subfolders, and libtk is here. That's where you have all of the dialogues and all of the tools to open up just open dialogue and save dialogues and things like that. The thing that you realize is that it's in a subfolder, and when it's in a subfolder, Max doesn't know where to find those libraries. So you need to be specific about where you want to load that library. So you need to give it the system address so that it knows where to find it. It's kind of annoying to have to do it, but I'll show you how to do it here. So we need to import another module, which is the system module, the sys module. And once this is imported, we need to add the folder where that library is. So I'll say sys.path.append, and it adds the path that is in here. So what I'll do is I'll go back in my folder here and I'll grab that path. So if I just grab this here, say copy, and I minimize this and I paste it in here, I should be good. The only thing is that Python takes / as path separator. So I'm just going to replace all of my backslash here by /, like so. Backslash, / and / and / So now by using this sys library and the sys module, and I append this path, that means that now if I import the TK library or the file dialog library, which is the one I need, it's going to be loaded. And all of this, like I said, I've searched and I found, but by myself and by doing trial and errors and asking around. That's how I found out all of that stuff. But I'm not a big Python programmer, so I cannot go too deep into why this is and all of that. So, but anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my library, and the library that I need is this one here. It's called file dialog. So TK file dialog, that's the one I need. So I'm just going to copy the name of it so I'm not mistaking it. And I don't need to put the just say TK file dialog. So now I have the library in order to open files. So all of those are the libraries that I'll be using for that script. And if you want to use more, you can even download libraries from the internet and add them to your Python folder in a subfolder, and you need to give the correct path or add the path to the script so that Python knows where to find that. So now we're done with this. Those are the modules that I need to be able to write my script. So what I'll do here is in the TK file dialog, if you do some search on the internet, if you go into the Google and if I just say search for Python and I'll say file open dialog, you'll find you'll find that TK information here. You'll see this all written, TK file dialog. It shows how to ask open file name, and that's the function that I'm going to use here. So all of this information is very easy to find on internet. So you just Google that and you'll find it. So what I'll do here is first I'll open that file, or I'll ask the dialog to open the file. So I'm just gonna, you need to give it a file name or a variable. So I'll say the file to open is equal, and then I'm going to use the library or the module that is here. So TK file dialog. The function that I need is ask open file name, and that's the function that's going to call, and it's going to open up a file name. So let's try this. I'm going to save this, and if I do execute this, you see that it's going to open up this window where I can pick my CSV file and say open, and here we go. We got our tool written to open a file. So now I pick that file from here. So the name of the file, the full path is saved in here in the file to open. What's great about the CSV module is now that this file is here in memory, I can say take that file and convert it to an array, which is the beauty of the CSV module. So what I'll do here is now we just picked the file. We just picked the name of the file to open. So we're going to open it. So I'm going to say the CSV file is equal to open. So I'm going to open that file. The file to open is what? It's this one here. And if you look at the open function in Python, what you need to do is you need to give it the parameter. Is it read? Is it write? What are we going to do with it? So in this case, we just want to read it. So the CSV file will be the content of the file to open. So the path is here, the path is here, and the CSV file is the content of the file. So now we know that what the content is here. I can access the content. So I'll say the CSV content that will be appropriate is equal to, and then I'm going to use a CSV module to read the content of the file and transform it into an array that I can use after that. So I'm going to say CSV dot reader, which is the function that we just saw in the search we did, the CSV file. And what I'll do here is I'll just take the content here and I'll say print, and it's probably going to give me just the address, but I'll see I'll see what it does. So I'll say file, save, and I'll open up the Max Listener here and I'll say clear, and I'll just update this, and I'm going to pick that CSV file and open, and you see that, well, that's what we see here. It's not, we don't see the content of the array, but I'll show you in the next video how to parse the content of the array. But you see that we do have an array that is located at this address in memory, and we're now able to access it and be able to read it. So that's what I'm going to do in the next video.